Hi everyone, it's Emilia here. I am so happy that I found the time to record for you a last video in 2023. This is the video which will have two parts. In the first part I will show you how I made the flowers for my card, which I will be doing later in the video. The card which I'm going to create will be very similar to the one I have in my hands. The composition will be on the opposite side of the card, but I am also going to use the same images, the same paper collection, but before that I will show you how to make those paper flowers. These are the easiest flowers you can make. And even though they're very simple, they look just amazing in the composition. I used Lady E Design Flower 12 cutting die set. It has different sizes of petals, so you can create different sizes of flowers. And also you can create the flowers which have 2 layers or 3 layers. I usually do those 2. But of course, if you want to have 4 or 5 layers, you can still do that. It's too much for me, but you can. So to start, I die cutted the layers out of paper, and I use mixed media. It's not mixed media, it's artistic pad from Hobbycraft. But you can use mixed media paper or watercolor paper. My paper is 180 GSM, and I suggest not to use more than 210, because then the flowers are difficult to shape, and they also, like, if you want to create the composition, they're not so easy to stick near each other. I don't know how to explain it better. Anyway, I'm starting with inking the centers of each layer, and I use vintage photo distress ink. I also really like the archival ink, which is brown. It's darker brown than vintage photo. So for today I will use the distress, but these are both are my favorite inks in brown for coloring the flowers. This tutorial is slightly longer than my usual videos because I'm creating the flowers and the card, but if you know how to make the flowers, skip that part and just go to creating the composition on the card. Going back to the flowers, I have them all colored, and now I will shape each petal on each layer of my flower. So to do that I will be using flower shaping tool, but you can also use paintbrush, something smaller than the pencil, which will help you to curl the petals. And I curling them on the side, not on the top of the petal, on one side, and one side will go down and the other side will go up. So first of all I like to curl them down, and it's on my left hand side on each petal, and then on the right hand side of each petal I'm curling it up. I brought the camera closer so you can see, but this round, that having something round in your hand really help. Otherwise the flowers, the paper could kind of fold with the crisp line, which we want to avoid. That's why I have something round to help me just curl the petals. For the smaller layers I like to only curl them down a bit, and this is actually all we do here. Very, very simple technique, and it will work with different shape of flowers as well. So I encourage you to try. I really like that technique because it's super quick and super easy. after shaping all layers, I will glue them together. So for one flower, like I said, I like to use 2 or 3 layers, and if I use 2 layers, I usually use them in the same size, and if I use 3 layers, I use 2 layers of the same size and 1 smaller which comes on the top. For the center of the flower, I like to use pearls, half pearls, buttons. I have here wooden beads which I will be using today, and I don't mind that they have holes on the, you know, the beads, but if you do not like it, then you can try to hide it, which you will see how I do later on my flowers. So when I stick the bead onto the center of the flower, I try to do it the way that the holes are on the side, because then it's easier if you are adding glitter or micro beads later, then you can definitely hide these little holes, but I don't mind that they are there. Today I'm using hot glue to put the flowers together, but I would normally use glue for paper. It's just quicker. But glue strings drives me crazy. So if you have any like craft glue, that probably would be better for the flowers. When you're adding the centers, it's good to have few different sizes. For smaller flowers, definitely smaller beads, and then the larger for the big ones. And like I said, these flowers are super cute and easy to make. So after finishing those 2, I'm going to start making my card. Today I'm using one of the new paper collections from Lemoncraft, Dear Diary Roses. I really like the color combination here, and I love that it has few like chalkboard papers. Each paper I think it's 3 times in the pad, so you don't have to worry when you're cutting the elements, because you will have I think 3 sheets of elements in the pad. And as my previous card, I'm going to use black paper on the bottom layer and then ivory one on the top one. I also have additional piece of paper which is a back cover of my paper pad. I'm going to stick it to my top layer to make it just stronger, because I have a heavy composition here, so I want this top layer to stay straight, and I will be attaching it with the double-sided foam pads. So sometimes when you add a lot of embellishments, the paper can kind of go wavy. That's why I will make it stronger by adding that piece of back cover from the paper pad. Anyway, the first layer I'm going to attach flat using double-sided tape and a bit of glue. I never trust the tape completely, and I also don't like to add too much glue. That's why I like to use the combination of both. Then I will adhere that top layer, which previously I used the tracing wheel and decorated the edges with it. The tracing wheel will create very tiny holes in your paper, and then it will lift the edges of the paper up. This is a nice way to kind of distress or just add something decorative to your edges. Of course, some people add stitches, which is great, but my sewing machine is just somewhere I cannot reach. That's why the tracing wheel is a great option, and it's also a very cheap tool. So if you I receive a lot of questions about that, so I'm going to try and link it below the video in the description box. To embellish the card, I will be using the same images which are cut out of the paper collection as on my previous card. I have those handmade flowers, I have some die-cut leaves, sisal, I've got those pretty black lace, and this is just paper die cut with the Sizzix die. What is different about this die that you can continuously cut, that's why the lace stay in the paper. I could add the die again to the paper and just make the strip longer, but today I just need a little piece, that's why I'm taking it all out of the paper. Sorry. I also have few chipboard elements, something decorative that will go on the side of the largest image. I have one sentiment which says dreams, but really this card can be used for any occasion. I know that in Poland in January, for example, there is Grandparents' Day, so this easily could be a card for grandma, birthday card, you know, anything romantic actually, because it's like shabby chic romantic style. I've got a few small roses which I know now I will not use. I will grab later similar roses but in pink, and I've got those black swirly die cuts which I'm also will not be using. Instead of that, I later die cut some brown leaves as on my previous project. I thought here maybe the black will be okay, but actually it was too much of a contrast to add it in the composition. The composition is very romantic. So I will start with adhering a piece of lace, and this is the white lace, but I had ivory one and I was trying it, and I think the ivory would look really nice as well, but then decided to use the same as on the other card. And then I will start with the biggest element, which is that card. The image actually won't be seen much later, but it is a great large layer to be on the side of my composition. And I know that many people are afraid of using the elements which later are barely visible, or layers that, you know, on top of each other, but this is how I create my cards. I love layering, and unfortunately you need to stick something on top to have those layers. Otherwise there will be elements next to each other and it won't create the same lovely composition. So layering is just adhering the elements on top of each other. And also, I mean, this is for me, but also I try to do it the way that these elements can be still seen on the card, maybe not in full, but you know, some parts of it, and it makes the project really interesting. So I will be now creating the composition. Some elements will have more than one layer of chipboard to just keep them in different levels, and this will also create a great dimension in my card. And I started from the top corner, and I will be going in an angle to the opposite corner, adding flowers, images, flowers, leaves. You will see how it works, and then at the end, when roughly the all elements, the biggest at least elements are on the card, I will be adding small flowers, small elements and small leaves to make it fuller and kind of finished. To finish off the card, I will use some glitter. This is white with a bit of silver. I've got micro beads, which are glittery as well, and piece of cheesecloth, which I am going to cut into tiny pieces. I will pull some strings, so those pieces of fabric I will add here and there to add more interest to the composition. The piece of lace would be great as well, cut into smaller pieces for that. And I will also add a twine bow, and that will be, no, it won't be it yet. Then I will splat everything with white acrylic paint mixed with water. I could skip that step here, but I think this card definitely needed because the leaves are too brown and I wanted this card to be really shabby chic. That's why the white acrylic paint will be needed. For those micro beads, you can also use the artistic stones. I don't remember how they called, but I will link them in the description box below the video. These are from Prima or from Pentart. There's many companies that make them, those little stones which you can use. The one I'm using is actually artificial snow, which I buy in the range. Every Christmas I buy 2 or 3 packs because those little balls are glittered. They are perfect for my projects. Unfortunately, I haven't seen them online at all, but if I will ever see, I will definitely let you know. But if you are in the UK, you can check the range and Christmas department and go and see if you can see that artificial snow. It's just great for card making. Anyway, I will be finishing my video now. I am so happy that I could make it, that I had the time before the end of the year and I recorded that for you because I really wanted to wish you all the best in the new year. I hope you will be visiting my channel and I hope that 2024 will bring you great things. Thank you very much for watching, for leaving comments, and what I wish for myself next year is to do more videos for you. Thanks a lot. Have a lovely creative day. Bye bye!